What a difference less than 24 hours makes. 113 sterling versus euro, 128 sterling versus US dollar. This is following 115s and the heady heights of above 130 following the release of this supposed draft text from the EU. Unfortunately, I was hoping to be able to say to you this morning that things like retail sales figures for the UK didn't matter much because there was such sort of optimism and there was an upbeat spirit with regards to us arriving at an agreement with the European Union. But unfortunately, poor, contracting, 0.5% decline in retail sales for the UK, month on month, coupled with a resignation from the, I think it's the Northern Ireland office within government, and widespread condemnation of Theresa May's deal mean that what was gained has now been lost. We had thought that businesses wanted certainty and that a deal, whatever its contents, would mean certainty because it means that there's no cliff edge, there's no deal. But unfortunately, it seems that the government have put together something or are prepared to acquiesce to demands that leave the UK indelibly linked to the EU without a unilateral, without the ability to unilaterally withdraw from a customs union. It's all rather strange, really. I can't quite believe, I can't quite believe that Mrs. May has put forward something so lukewarm. You would have thought that, had a Remainer been Prime Minister and pushing this forward, there would have been something quite biting, quite ferocious. We would have walked away with something we would have walked away with the EU's scalp. But as Nick Robinson, I think it was, noted, the mere fact that the EU are not trying to sell this to their audience suggests that they're utterly content with what has been agreed. I don't think it's going to get through the House of Commons, which means further uncertainty. So what we're going to be saying to our clients is simply this: expect more turbulence. Because this material has been released, I wouldn't look to the upside. I don't necessarily see that there's much for the pound to gain until this deal is, dissected, tweaked, improved, whatever you want to call it. So it's rather a gloomy Thursday, in fact. Sterling at 113, those holding a foreign currency now would be a good time to sell. I've always said that anything better than 120 to the pound, so your 115s, your 114s, makes for remarkably good value euro through to sterling. So if you've accumulated foreign currency revenue in your businesses or your personal foreign currency account, now would not be a bad time to sell it. I'm not going to sit here and say that I think that the pound will weaken further, although I suppose it is implied given the strength of feeling in opposition to Mrs. May's deal. We will be talking to you again tomorrow. I suspect it's going to be a similar narrative, really. It would be quite nice to talk about some data. It would be quite nice to give you a couple of flags in the road where you can look out for, will it go in our favour or not? But the trouble is all of this miasma is eclipsing anything to do with the UK economy. Retail sales figures weren't good, granted, but there's a lot of peripheral US information coming out later on today. Don't expect that to be able to do any damage to the trajectory of the major currencies against the pound. If you have any questions, please, as ever, get in touch. We'd love to answer them for you. Any terms, terminology, how to ensure that you're not overly exposed to these fluctuating rates. I've been Jamie Lezinski, and thank you for your time.